Sorry about the late start, guys. I'm gonna need another minute and then I will be back, but I'll keep the stream up and we'll be starting momentarily here. Thanks for your patience. Oh, all right, guys, what is up? We are doing the finals predictions for ANW 18. I'm gonna get my stream pulled up here. Make sure everything is working properly. Yeah, we are good. Okay. Chat will also be up. Um, I'll be looking at chat periodically while we're predicting here. So if you guys got anything you want to say, feel free to put it in the chat. All right. Lighting look all right. I'm just gonna make one more post, I think. Let's see. I'm gonna make a no spoilers thing either. I should have mentioned that already, but yeah, no spoilers allowed. Right, fire. Yo, this was a late notice for me, so I do apologize. I low-key forgot that the finals were starting tonight, so I had to kind of get on here in a rush, so sorry about that. But yeah, as I said, we are okay, where is my yeah, I hope to goodness this works out. All right, making sure everything was good on my end. All right, there we go. Should be all right now. At last. So yeah, again, guys, I'm really sorry for getting on here late. But yeah, anyway, we are doing the finals predictions for ANW 18. Um, gonna go ahead and take one earbud off. Yeah, we're good. All right. So yeah, finally, without further ado, let's get into the ANW 18 finals predictions by KK's World. All right, so we got the format of 15 groups of 4 ninjas each. In the group stage, 60 total ninjas made the national finals this year. Each group will be a round robin. Everybody races everybody else once, so everybody will race 3 times in their group. Top two move on from each group for an even 30, two from each of the 15 groups. And the top two who place third will move on, the top two who place third and throughout all of the groups will move on in order to have a perfect 32 team bracket. When we get to the bracket and the knockout stage, it works just like a normal bracket. 1v1 races all the way through 5 rounds. We start with 32, keep cutting in half each time, until there's one ninja left. The finals again this year, I believe, are 4 episodes. They'll be tonight, August 10th, 17th, 24th, and the finale will be August 31st. So honestly, side note, the 24th is going to be a huge day for Ninja because the bracket should be starting that day, like the actual knockout stage. And then World Cup's happening that day too. So yeah, August 24th is going to be a pretty good day for Ninja. Note on the finals format, there are two separate six obstacle courses that will be used for the group stage. Is my guys, I am so sorry. Is my thing off screen? It is. Ooh, okay. Glad I noticed that just now. I think. Hopefully that'll work out a little better. Let's see. But yeah, as I was saying, note on the format, there's going to be two separate six obstacle courses for the group stage. Most likely, one side of the bracket will be mainly from course one, and the other mainly for course two. For simplicity's sake, the top two in odd numbered groups will be on one side of the bracket, so that would be 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, and 15. Two from each of those groups for 16 on that side. And then the top two in even numbered groups plus the top two third place will be on the other side of my bracket, which will be the remaining 7 groups, so 14 plus the two third place, so 16 on that side as well. So here are the groups. Group one, we start off with first place overall in the semifinals, Phil Folsom. Then we go to Colt Elder, go to Caden Lebsack, who made the Final Four last year, and then we go to Bob Reese, a social media star. Group two is going to consist of second place overall Jackson Erdos, YouTube star Ashton Myler, top women competitor Isabella Folsom, and Daniela Blanchard. Group three is honestly going to be kind of a dogfight, I think. Leads off with Charlie Ball, possibly the top rookie of the year so far, besides Phil Folsom. Aaron Deal, another great rookie of this year. And then Colton Scooster and Amir Malik, who are both known for their speed. And then we go to Group 4, which is Enzo Di Ferrari Wilson, who's honestly could be a dark horse to win this year, in my opinion. We'll get into that in a little bit. Knox Agaramore, who really underperformed last year, given how fast he is. Max Feinberg, and then Zay Keaton. What the heck? Let me pull up. Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. All right. Moving on to groups 5 through 8. Like I said, there's 15 groups. So group 5 has Kevin Rodriguez, The Reach, John Mack, Sean Bryan, and Olivia Lopez. Honestly, one of the weaker groups in my opinion. Group 6, we have last year's defending champion Kai Beckstrand, top rookies Derek Wilmouth and Max Celebra, and recurring competitor Brandon Singletary. Moving on to Group 7, we have Kai's little brother Luke Beckstrand, along with another Luke, Lucas Reale, top women Addie Herman, and Xavier Ochoa. Group 8 consists of top rookie Ryan Cooper, top rookies Ryan Cooper and Nathaniel Hanvu, uh, surprising women breakout this year in Anna MacArthur and Nam Phan. Group 9 will be headlined by Jay Lewis and Elijah Browning, as well as top rookie women Akshara Papu and veteran fan favorite Nick Hansen. Group 10 is going to be another dogfight headlined by three of the best Isaiah Thomas, Daniel Gill, and RJ Roman, along with Grace Gordon. Group 11 will consist of one of the greats who made it to the finals last year, who made it to the final match last year but lost to Kai Beckstrand, Noah Munier, high school football player and rookie standout Nick Warren, uh, really breaking out as a woman this year, as a top women competitor this year, Annabelle Heinrichs, and then top rookie Simeon Serrano. Group 12 will be Evan White, who made a name for himself having a lot of close races last year, Weston Boswell, a fast rookie, Taylor Green, a top woman, and Darren Perez. And the last three groups, Group 13 will consist of Jason Behrens, Matt D'Amico, James McGrath, and Jaleesa Himka. Group 14 will consist of fast competitor, headlined by fast competitor Josiah Papel, the classy ninja Donovan Matoyer, Hunter Ogden, and Bailey Beckstrand, who's breaking out and becoming a new part of the Beckstrand family ninja dynasty. And finally, Group 15, Sam Folsom, Phil's older brother, Ben Behrens, Jason's older brother, Rye Flores, and Peyton Myler. Sorry about that. I don't know. I used the same template from last year. But anyway, here's Group 1, the predictions. Uh, Phil Folsom, I think, is going to take this fairly easily, which is kind of crazy to say because Caden Lebsack is insane, honestly. Like he's very fast. Having those two in the group, that's going to be a close race whenever it does happen, I think. And then Colt Elder, I think, will get third, and then Bob Reese. Unfortunately, I love Bob, but I think he's cooked in this one. Um, but yeah, I don't see Phil having much of a struggle. Caden could give him some headaches, but besides that, Phil and Caden should be pretty easily moving on out of Group 1. Group 2, we have Jackson Erdos. I think he pretty easily gets it done here in Group 2. I don't think he's going to have much of a problem against any of these guys. Um, I do think Ashton Myler is kind of going to make a little mistake versus Isabella Folsom, which is why I got her in second and moving on. And then Danielle Blanchard I got in last. So Jackson and Isabella moving out of Group 2. Group 3, like I said, it's going to be a dogfight, but I'm putting Charlie Ball, the rookie, actually at the top. Um, who knows if that prediction's going to come bite me in the butt later. I could see really any of these guys getting first. Like I could see this being ordered in any way. Group 3 was definitely one of the toughest ones to predict. But I got Amir Malik in second, Colton Scooster in third, just because I find him kind of reckless sometimes, and then Aaron Deal, just because he's a slower of the two rookies. I mean, he's got a very high ceiling to do well in this group, but right now, I can't, I don't feel comfortable putting him above any of these other guys. I am gonna go down to the bracket though, um, to keep track of who was where last year. Group 4, we have Enzo Di Ferrari Wilson, Knox Agaramore, and Max Feinberg all tied for first. And then we have Zay Keaton in last. Um, Assuming the tiebreaker is like obstacles cleared or total time, then I'm gonna take Enzo in first place and Knox in second. Have them two move on, and then Max, more than likely, is going to be a third place finisher and move on as well. Group 5, like I said, this is one of the weaker groups. Kevin Rodriguez, definitely not the most consistent athlete on the planet. So I'm gonna go ahead and put him in second, but I'm gonna put John Mack in first. Sean Bryan in third, just because he's older. He might be able to keep up with these guys, but I don't feel comfortable putting him in third. And then fourth, I put Olivia Lopez. So Group 5, I got John Mack and K. Rudd coming out of. Group 6, Kai Beckstrand. Again, this is one of those groups. Although it's a pretty good group, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think Kai's gonna have much of a problem getting out of this one in first place. And then Derek Wilmouth in second. He's the only guy that could probably give Kai a headache. Max Celebra in third. Solid rookie season for Max, by the way. And then Brandon Singletary in fourth. Group 7, moving on to Luke. I think he gets first here relatively easily. Lucas Reale could give him a little run for his money, but I don't really think so. I think Lucas is pretty safely in second. Addie Herman in third, and then Xavier Ochoa in fourth. Group 8, we've got Ryan Cooper. A lot of question marks in this group. I believe everybody in this group. Well, no, Hanvu's not a rookie. I'm an idiot. Um, But like all four of these guys are having breakout years. So it's a pretty interesting group to see. But Ryan Cooper, I think, takes this one. Nathaniel Hanvu, I could see him winning this group. It was pretty close trying to decide who'd win this one. Nam Fan, solid rookie season again, and then Anna MacArthur, back at the bottom. Group 9, I've got Jay Lewis beating out Elijah Browning. Elijah's been mistake prone this year. I don't like what I've seen out of him, to be honest. I think he's a good ninja, but just in terms of what he's showed us this year, um, I don't feel comfortable at all really putting him above Jay. Um, but I still will have him moving on to the knockout stage. I'll still put him over Akshara and Nick. Group 10, huge dogfight right here, honestly. I think Isaiah, though, gets it done. I think the real battle, honestly, is going to be for second. Daniel Gill and RJ Roman. RJ kind of prone to making mistakes. I don't know if he's going to make a mistake or if he's just going to finish slower than one of these guys. Um, and then Grace Gordon. If somebody like if RJ makes a mistake racing Grace, then I could see Grace getting a win for sure. Um, but as of right now, I'd say Isaiah and Daniel moving on to the knockout stage out of Group 10. But this group, again, kind of like Group 3, it's really, really tough to predict. It's going to be a dogfight for sure. Group 11, Noah Munier, I think he takes this one pretty easily. Nick Warren takes second. Annabella Heinrichs, I think, will take third. Simeon Serrano in fourth. Maybe it's just because I haven't seen Simeon in a while. Um, but Nick, he had a really good rookie season so far. I'll say that. Noah obviously got to the championship race last year. Hasn't slowed down a bit. Honestly, I think Noah's gotten stronger. Um, and then Annabella has been uh, quietly, honestly, Annabella Heinrichs has been one of the top women competitors this year. Group 12, we've got another three-way tie for first. Weston Boswell, Evan White, Taylor Green, and Darren Perez coming in fourth. As much as I love Darren, I don't think he's got a shot against any of these young guys. Um, and assuming the tiebreaker is like time or obstacles completed or something, I'm gonna say Weston gets that done. And then Evan, and then Taylor. And I think Taylor has a decent shot at moving on as one of the two third place finishers. Group 13, we've got Matt D'Amico getting first. I think he gets this done fairly easily. I'd say Jason Barons could give him a run for this money. I've been surprised, pleasantly surprised by Jason this year. He's been very fast. I was not expecting that. I knew his brother Ben was fast. I was not expecting Jason to come out and be this fast. James McGrath, just because of his age, I got to put him in third, and then Jaleesa Himka in fourth. Group 14, Josiah Papel. I think he gets this one done pretty easily. Uh, Very rarely does Josiah make a mistake. Hunter Ogden, I was expecting him to go a lot faster on the triple header, and I was expecting him to go a lot faster in semis, like as a whole, and I just didn't see that from him. I don't know how I can put him above any of these other guys when he hasn't lived up um to being fast and a season that's built on speed. Bailey Beckstrand in third. I think she gets it done against Hunter. Besides that, I don't think she really has much of a shot against Donovan or Josiah. And then finally, Group 15, we've got Sam Folsom and Ben Barons taking first and second, moving on to the knockout stage. Um, I want to move Rye on so bad, and I think in a lot of other groups, I think Rye Flores would move on to the knockout stage. Um, but I can't here. I think Peyton Myler is a pretty clear-cut last place. And I was very close between Sam and Ben. I was so close. I was back and forth on who I wanted in first. The safe pick obviously is Sam, but Ben also, kind of like Jason, he's been quietly one of the fastest competitors of the year. And I know he made the knockout stage. I'm not sure what round of the knockout stage he made. Let me check. He made it to the round of 16. So, quietly, Ben Barons could make a run again. I would not be surprised at all. But now, it's time to reveal the bracket. I will just go section by section, um, revealing my final, How this is going to work is I have four different slides for the four sections of the bracket. I will go over one slide at a time, so you'll get one final four. You'll have eight competitors. We're going to narrow that down to one, and then we're going to move on to the next quadrant, and we'll go from there. And then final four is all one slide. But anyway, this is my ANW 18 bracket. Seeding, to note, by the way, seeding will be based off of whatever tiebreaker. Time, I just chose time as the tiebreaker, fastest time through your group stage races. So here we go. Starting out with course one, the top quadrant, we have number one, Phil Folsom, going up against number 16, Amir Malik. Then we have number 8, John Mack, going up against number 9, Caden Lebsack. Number 4, Charlie Ball will take on number 13, Lucas Reale. And number 5, Jay Lewis will take on number 12, Jason Behrens. So looking at Phil Folsom versus Amir Malik, I really wanted to move Amir on here. I'll be honest. Um, in quite a few other matchups, I say, like if he was going against John Mack, Lucas Reale, Jason Behrens, I think Amir could get it done. But against Phil Folsom, I don't think so. I think Phil is a pretty safe pick to win that race, even though he's only a rookie. John Mack versus Caden Lebsack. John only has a high seed because his group kind of sucks. Um, he got first in honestly what I would call the worst group in all the finals in terms of skill level. No diss on John, by the way. Great ninja. It feels like I'm bashing the heck out of him right now, but great ninja. It's just that, yeah. Caden Lebsack was also in a pretty decent group, was in Phil's group, so he had to go against Phil, and that's the reason he got second, and that's the reason that his seed is not as good. That's the reason he's only a 9 and not like a top 5. But I'm gonna take Caden either way. I think he wins that one fairly easily. Number 4, Charlie Ball versus number 13, Lucas Reale. Lucas, in my opinion, is kind of prone to mistakes. He's kind of like an older Elijah Browning. Um, but when he cooks, he cooks. Um, Number 4, Charlie Ball hasn't given us a reason to believe that he's gonna fall at any point. Hasn't hit the water this year yet, I don't believe. So I'm gonna take Charlie. And then number 5, Jay Lewis versus number 12, Jason Behrens. Battle of the shorter guys for sure. Jason Behrens again, quietly one of the faster ninjas this year. Against a couple other matchups, I think against some other ninjas, I think he could have moved past the first round, but I can't take him to move on against the great Jay Lachey. Especially since Jay, I believe, got to the Elite Eight last year. Yeah, and then we take Phil Folsom. I was not supposed to reveal that, but I'm going to take Phil Folsom over Caden Lebsack. Um, I think Phil, even though he's a rookie, he's been around obstacles his whole life, and I know Caden can say the same thing pretty much. Um, but Phil is just on another gear. In my opinion, he somehow, as a rookie, he's a tier above everybody else. Right now. You could maybe put somebody like Erdos or somebody like Kai on his tier. But besides that, I mean, he's already, in my opinion, one of the fastest ninjas, the fastest ninja, right now, so far this year. And then number 4, Charlie Ball versus number 5, Jay Lewis. I am going to be taking experience here. Even though I believe that Charlie right now is faster, I think Jay is less likely to make a mistake. And I know that sounds stupid because I said Charlie hasn't given us any reason to believe he's going to make a mistake, but um, Jay Lewis is a lot tougher of an opponent than Lucas Reale, in my opinion. And Jay's going to push him a lot more than Lucas would. So I'm going to take Charlie. Or, sorry, I'm going to take Jay. And then Elite 8 matchup here to go to the Final Four. Number 1, Phil Folsom versus number 5, Jay Lewis. Um, this one should be pretty self-explanatory if you've been listening to me the past couple minutes. I am going to take Phil here. Like I said, even though he's a rookie, he's been around obstacles his whole life, just like Jay. Um, Phil already faster, I believe, than I think Jay ever could be. And that's again no diss against Jay, one of the fastest ninjas in the world. but I don't know. I don't think he can get it done against Phil here. Moving on to the bottom section of course one, we've got number 2 seed Noah Munier going against the number 15 Elijah Browning. Then we've got number 7 Matt D'Amico up against number 10 Ben Behrens. We've got number 3 Luke Beckstrand up against number 14 Nick Warren, and number 6 Sam Folsom versus number 11 Kevin Rodriguez. Going up to Noah versus Elijah. If you were here earlier, you heard me say I don't like what I've been seeing from Elijah this year. Good Ninja just hasn't put in results, hasn't lived up to expectations in my opinion. This year. At his ceiling, Elijah could like be comparable to somebody like Isaiah Thomas. Um, he could probably contend with Caden in a race, honestly. Um, but he just hasn't shown that this year, and he's given me no reason to believe that he could beat somebody like Noah Munier this year. So I got to take Noah in here. Matt D'Amico versus Ben Behrens. I was back and forth on this one. I'm going to be honest with you. Um, but I am going to take Ben Behrens. Um, Matt in his triple header race made a crazy comeback. Um, Part of it you could maybe chop down to luck. Part of it you could chop down to skill. Not really sure. Uh, Either way, somebody would go on that, but yeah, I would take Ben in this one, just because Ben, he's had prettier runs this year, and he seems ready. He seems ready. Like I said, uh, you could see him as kind of a dark horse in this year, um, in this uh, in this bracket in this tournament. Number 3, Luke Beckstrand versus number 14, Nick Warren. I am going to take number 3, Luke Beckstrand here. I think Nick has had an amazing rookie year. All credit to him, honestly. I've loved watching his runs. As a fellow football guy myself as well, it's been pretty cool to see him out there and do well. But Luke Beckstrand, again, part of the Beckstrand dynasty. I mean, this guy is insane, okay? Luke Beckstrand is insane. Some people think he's faster than his brother Kai. On some courses, he is. He is faster than his brother Kai on some courses, on quite a few courses, actually. Um, and I am going to take him. He got to the Elite Eight last year, I believe, because he lost to Kai. And then number 6, Sam Folsom versus number 11, Kevin Rodriguez. I am going to take Sam. Oh, shucks. Okay. Well, I mean, I think most people would expect Noah to win that one, but okay. Uh, Sam Folsom. I will take over Kevin Rodriguez. I think Kevin, it just comes down to Kevin is a lot more prone to making a mistake, I believe, than Sam. All right, and then as you saw, Noah versus Ben, I am going to take Noah. Made it to the championship race last year. Ben can't say that. Again, another decent run for Ben in the finals. Further than a lot of people think he would make it. Um, but yeah, running into a powerhouse like Noah Munier, I'm not sure there's much you can do against that. And then Luke Beckstrand versus Sam Folsom. I am going to take Luke in this one. Um, just because he's pretty much flawless. I mean, he did have the slip up in qualifying, but besides that, like, um, coming in from last year into this year, like, he's given us no reason to believe that that's going to happen again. So I'll take him. So Noah versus Luke in the Elite Eight, to claim the second spot in the Final Four, and believe they would face Phil Folsom. I'm going to take Noah Munier. Again, Noah is just both of these guys are powerhouses, first of all. Um, I think Noah is fundamentally on obstacles better than Luke. I think Luke definitely has a speed advantage over Noah, but I think Noah has a fundamentals advantage. He calculates every single move and he does it so quick. Um, and I think that he almost never makes a mistake. You know what I mean? He didn't even fall for like all of last year, I believe, until he got to the championship race, and that was on the last obstacle. But yeah, I'm gonna take Noah Munier go to the final four. Moving on to course two, we go to the top side, and we start off with the number 1 seed on this side, Jackson Erdos, going up against number 16, Taylor Green. Number 8, Knox Agaramore is going to go up against number 9, Evan White. That's going to be a good one. Number 4, Josiah Papel. I think, will go up against number 13, Donovan Matoyer, the classy ninja. And then number 5, Ryan Cooper, will go up against number 12, Nathaniel Hanvu. So, rematch from Group 8, I believe. I believe so, a couple of these are rematches from the group stage. I'm not sure if they're going to allow that like on the knockout stage, but for here, I'd say it's okay. So number 1 Jackson Erdos versus number 16 Taylor Green. I love Taylor, but it's Jackson Erdos. I don't think there's really much you can do. Jackson doesn't really make mistakes either, so I'm gonna take him. Noxa versus Evan. I had a lot of trouble deciding this one. Just because Evan has been in a lot of close races, I'm not saying that he's always lucky, but his luck, being so close has got to run out at some point. So I'm gonna take Noxa on this one. Number 4, Josiah Papel versus number 13, Donovan Matoyer. I think I am going to take Josiah in this one just because Josiah, I believe, is one of the fastest ninjas on the planet. Can really hang with anybody um, in terms of a speed course. I can't say the same about Donovan, unfortunately, so I am going to take Josiah there. And then Ryan versus Nathaniel. I had a lot of trouble deciding this one as well. Two guys who are having real breakout years. Nathaniel, both have a lot of history on Ninja Junior as well. Um, I think their group stage race is going to be very close, and I think this race is going to end up being very close. But I am going to take Nathaniel Hanvu here in a 12/5 upset. I'm going to get a drink, by the way. I've been nonstop talking for like 35 minutes now. All right. Moving on to the Sweet 16, I am going to take Jackson Erdos over Noxa Garamore. Again, I think Jackson is just a powerhouse. He's proven it time and time again this year. Um, I thought his time was going to hold up in the triple header. I didn't think anybody was going to beat his time, and then we saw Phil. But still, Jackson, really good athlete. Noxa also really good athlete. But Noxa, I noticed that he did kind of struggle in the knockout stage, and he does kind of struggle sometimes. I think he lets the pressure get to him sometimes, especially we saw last year. Um, he was number 1 overall seed, I believe, and he lost to Janique Levette in the group stage, but he still moved on, and then he lost to Cake. Um, do I think that kind of stuff is going to happen again? No, I think this one just comes down to Jackson finishes the course faster than he does. And then I'm going to take Josiah Papel over Nathaniel Hanvu, purely based off of experience on the big show. And the Elite Eight matchup, Jackson versus Josiah. I am going to take Jackson Erdos to move on to the Final Four. The other number 1 seed. Um, I think this race is going to be potentially one of the closest, if not the closest of the season, and I'm really excited to watch it if it does happen. Um, I hope it happens. I really do. I really hope this happens, honestly. This would just be like a dream race to watch. But Jackson, he's been so fast this year. I mean, he's been so fast, hasn't made a mistake, hasn't had any accidents. Um, Josiah also has been very, very fast this year and hasn't made any mistakes. Again, kind of like Jackson versus Knox, I think it just comes down to Jackson gets it done faster than Josiah. So Jackson Erdos in the Final Four. We got one more quadrant to go on the bottom. We got the number 2 seed on this side, Kai Beckstrand versus number 15, Max Feinberg. Number 7, Weston Boswell, I believe, will be going against number 10, Daniel Gill. I think number 3, Isaiah the Flyboy Thomas, will be going against number 14, Isabella Folsom. 2 Texas ninjas right there. Well, formerly Texas, I should say, for Isabella. And then number 6, Enzo Di Ferrari Wilson, will be going up against number 11, Derek Wilmoff, a top rookie. Kai versus Max. Max, decent at racing. But Kai, obviously, he won last year. I'm gonna have to take Kai on that one, pretty obviously. Number 7, Weston Boswell, and number 10, Daniel Gill. I think this has the potential to be a very, very close race. I haven't seen a ton of Weston outside of that semifinal episode. I think he got digested the first time, but I mean, he put in a very good run in the semifinals. put himself on the map. Had a very eye-opening run in both the semifinals, round one, and the triple header as well. That being said, Daniel Gill is a legendary ninja, lots of experience, still pretty fast. Almost beat one of the top, uh, league guys, I'd say, in Evan White last year. Um, so this was really close for me. I went back and forth on this one for forever, but I am going to take Weston Boswell, just because I am slightly more convinced by the speed that I've seen from him this year over the speed that I've seen from Daniel Gill this year. And then we got number 3, the Flyboy, against number 14, Isabella Folsom. I think I'm going to take Isaiah Thomas here. Um, I think Isabella, honestly, against a decent amount of the male competitors in this bracket, she could get it done and she could win that race. But Isaiah is just too fast. As long as he doesn't make a mistake, he's going to be fine and move on to the round of 16, I believe. And then Enzo Wilson versus Derek Wilmuth. I'm going to take Enzo. Enzo is one of my dark horses this year. I can just reveal that now, I believe. Um, I think he's got something to prove. He looked scary, to say the least. He looked like a threat, honestly, to win it all when we saw him in the triple header. All year, really, he's looked like a big threat to win. Could be one of Kai's biggest threats, in my opinion. But then going back up, we got the Sweet 16 matchup. We've got Kai versus Weston. I am going to take Kai here again. Kai was the champion last year, has given us no reason to believe that he's slowing down or going to make a mistake anytime soon. So I am going to take him here to move on to the Elite Eight. And then we got Isaiah Thomas versus Enzo Wilson. I am going to take Enzo here. Like I said, dark horse for me. Enzo. I think he's got a chance of making a really, really deep run. Lost in the first round last year to Ben Barons. I think he's pretty hungry for revenge, pretty hungry to make a pretty good run into this bracket. And then we go to the Elite Eight, and it's going to be Kai versus Enzo. I am going to take Kai here. Um, like I said, I think Enzo is a pretty good threat to Kai. I don't think right now he could beat him. Um, I'd say with more training in ANW 19, possibly I could see Enzo beating Kai. But I don't think this year it's gonna happen. I got Kai moving on to the final four. So our final four is gonna be Phil Folsom. Ooh. I actually gotta look myself. We got Phil, Jackson, Kai, and then I forgot the last guy. Um, let's see. We got Phil, Noah, Jackson, and Kai. All ones and twos, by the way. The two 1 seeds and the two seeds. But before we get to that final four, I want to predict the women's championship. As we know, the women's championship this year, or if you don't know, the top 4 women who complete the most obstacles all year will move on to a bracket, and 3 races, the 2 semis and the championship, will determine the women's champion for this year. Um, I have a list of who is still perfect as of right now. I'm not sure if I'll be able to find it here, of course, but yeah, here we go. Um, Out of the 15 possible obstacles, a woman could complete this year, only 5 are 15 for 15 and still perfect. Those are Grace Gordon, Annabella Heinrichs, Isabella Folsom, and Taylor Green, um, and Bailey Beckstrand. Sorry. But moving on here, I've got Isabella Folsom as the 1 seed and Grace Gordon as the 4 seed. Taylor Green is the 2 seed and Annabella is the 3 seed. So sorry, Bailey placed fifth among the women, in my opinion, this year. But here we go. As far as the final four for the women goes, Isabella Folsom versus Grace Gordon. I think Grace has had a great year, to be honest. Better than last year for sure. She kind of put herself in the map last year, in terms of that qualifying run, but this year for sure, still perfect. Um, Beating out a lot of top women competitors. And it's pretty cool to see. Oh my God. Okay, I thought I saw some crazy headline. Of course it cut off right at the right crazy moment. Okay, I apologize. If you don't know me, I do follow the news a lot, so um I do I'm kind of always the first guy to find out about breaking news. Not to brag or nothing, but anyway, back to Ninja. Isabella versus Grace. Like I said, Grace has had a great year. Isabella, though, in terms of experience, she's got a lot more. Really put herself, really broke out last year. Um, and even more so this year. I think she's been the top women competitor this year. I'm gonna take her in this one, and then Taylor Green versus Annabella Heinrichs. Uh, I think Taylor, just in terms of star power is better, and she's also got a decent amount of speed too against Annabella. But that's nothing to take away from Annabella either, because she's had obviously an amazing year in my opinion. Three buzzers so far. Um, has really established herself, in my opinion, as one of the top female competitors going forward, just kind of like Grace has too. But I am going to take Taylor in this one. So the women's championship match will be between Isabella Folsom and Taylor Green, the top two women all year. Um, both of them are fast. Both of them are fast. Both of them very rarely make mistakes. I think Taylor overall makes less mistakes than Isabella. But I think Isabella overall has had the better year than Taylor, in my opinion. So I am going to take Isabella Folsom to be the women's champion for ANW season 18. Moving on now to the men's final four. Going back to it now, we have number one Phil Folsom against number two Noah Munier on one side, and then the other one and two we have number one Jackson Erdos versus number two Kai Beckstrand on the other side. Um, let's see. Phil, obviously, he's a rookie. He did not compete last year. Looking at Jackson Erdos, he got to the Sweet 16 last year, so big improvement for him getting to the Final Four. And then obviously Kai and Noah were the championship match last year. Um, do I think that's going to happen again this year? Let's find out. Phil Folsom versus Noah Munier. Noah, both of these guys, honestly, in my opinion, the two best fundamentalist ninjas. Two guys that you almost never see fall, whether it's been like throughout his life in leagues, Noah on the real show, and in leagues as well. Two guys that you very rarely see make a mistake. Uh, Also two very fast guys. Um, I think Noah can go fast and do well. I think Phil can go faster and do well. I don't know how else to put that. I know that sounds stupid. I just don't know how else to put it. But I am going to take Phil Folsom over Noah Munier to advance to the championship here. Um, and who will he face? Let's find out. Number one on this side, Jackson Erdos versus number two, Kai Beckstrand. This is another one I was back and forth on. At this point, like you could go either way with these. I think pretty much everybody would agree with that. Um, but I do remember the Final Four last year. And I know these speed courses as a whole are very heavily upper body. And I'm not saying that Kai doesn't have grip strength. I'm not saying that Kai is weak. I'm just saying that Kai is a lot bigger of a body than Jackson Erdos. He's got a lot more weight to hold up, and he's got a lot more weight to absorb when he lands on his fingers, when he lands on his hands. Um, Jackson doesn't have that problem, in my opinion, as much. And Jackson overall has been faster this year than Kai too. So I'm gonna have to take Jackson to move on to the championship. So we are going to have a new champion this year. In my opinion, I believe we're gonna have a new champion this year for ANW 18. Uh, the two number one seeds, I know, all chalk. Two number one seeds though, Phil Folsom versus Jackson Erdos. Um, like I said, races, um, this far into the bracket, are toss ups, are complete toss ups. I had a lot of I did have a lot of trouble deciding this one. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know whether to go with just complete raw speed and Phil Folsom or go with a little bit more experience in Jackson Erdos. Um, the triple header does tell you a lot, in my opinion. Um, at least it told me a lot about how I think these guys would do in the finals and even on just like a side by side course, not a 3 lane. But that being said, if you knew the results of the triple header, you probably know where I'm going with this. Jackson Erdos, I believe he got 30 point something. Um, I think a lot of people thought that time was going to hold up through the central region. Spoiler alert, it did not, and the guy who beat it was Phil Folsom. Phil Folsom got like 28 point something, I think. Um, and on a course that short with times that low, that's a pretty good margin. Um, Granted, it's only 3 obstacles, so who knows um how Phil's going to do on like 8 obstacle championship course or whatever it would be, 8, 9 obstacles. Um, but just given how good he is fundamentally, like I said, he does remind me a lot of Noah Munier in my opinion. Just given how good he is fundamentally, given the type of endurance that I expect him to have, I am going to take a rookie to win. Um, I'm going to take rookie Phil Folsom to win. $250,000. Don't think we've ever had a rookie win the season before. I'm trying to think right now. No, because we had ANW won. Everybody was a rookie pretty much. We had Levi and then David, Brent, um, Brian, Joe, Isaac, and Jeff. Uh, you know, then Joe again, and then and then and then Daniel, then Caden, Vance, um, and then Kai. So we've never had a rookie win a season or be last man standing. So, um, it'd be the very first time a rookie has ever won a season of ANW. And honestly, I think Phil, as a rookie, at least the skills that he brings in as a rookie, he could be the best rookie in ANW history. Um, and I don't think many people would consider that a stretch either, just given what we know about him, what we've seen of him in terms of leagues, in terms of how he trains, in terms of who he trains with. Um, I don't think a lot of people would be shocked to see Phil Folsom win this year, even as a rookie. So those are my finals predictions for ANW 18. As a reminder, as we wind down the stream here, no spoilers whatsoever. Um, Never really had a problem in the chat, so should be good in those respects. But yeah, I appreciate you guys though for watching this. I'm sorry again for the late start. I wasn't happy about it either. I just remembered actually the finals were on tonight, and I remember I made this bracket the other day. Um, in preparation to do a stream over the weekend, and it just completely rushed my mind. I completely forgot. So, um, I realized it was on tonight, and I had to rush to get the stream up. So, I apologize for that, but I appreciate you guys for bearing with me. I appreciate you guys for watching. Um, hope hope you guys enjoy all 4 episodes of the finals. Um, if it's anything like last year, we're in for a treat. I really liked ANW 17's finals. I didn't know if I would like the all racing format. I think obviously I prefer Mount Midoriyama, but um, I don't think the racing format was that bad in terms of a final. Um, if like the format stays the same, I know the format is the exact same pretty much as last year. If like like the editing stays the same, episodes 1 and 2 this week and next week are going to be all group stage. Episode 3 is going to be the remainder of group stage plus the start of the bracket, and then episode 4 is going to be the finale. Like I said, those dates are August 10th, um, episode 1 tonight, episode 2 the 17th, episode 3 where the bracket is expected to start August 24th, and then the finale we're expected to see a winner is August 31st. So thank you guys for watching. Um, again, like I said, I know I keep repeating myself, but uh, definitely kind of a hassle to get the stream up this time, but we got it. We got here. Sorry for the late start, but I appreciate you guys bearing with me. I appreciate you guys tuning in, hearing my predictions. Let me know your predictions in the comments in these next couple hours, possibly, or in the chat in this next minute. Again, no spoilers. Optical spoilers are fine, just no result spoilers. Not even stuff that's like publicly available. Not even stuff that's like on the media village. Nothing like that. All right. But I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And as always, stay happy and healthy.